What if I told you that Spec Ops The Line isn't about being a hero, but about losing your mind? A game that begins like any other military shooter, but by the end, it makes you question why you played it at all. Released in 2012 by Jaeger Development and published by 2K Games, Spec Ops The Line presents itself as a standard third-person military shooter. Captain Martin Walker, accompanied by his Delta Force teammates, Lieutenant Adams and Sergeant Lugo, is sent into Dubai on a simple mission: locate and extract the missing Colonel John Conrad and his 33rd Battalion. But something is off. The city has been ravaged by catastrophic sandstorms. The distress signal from Conrad is weeks old, and as Walker and his squad move deeper into Dubai, it becomes clear they weren't sent to rescue anyone. From the start, the game subtly pulls the player in. What begins as a straightforward military operation soon unravels into something far more disturbing. Spec Ops: The Line is heavily inspired by Heart of Darkness, the novel that also influenced Apocalypse Now. In both stories, a soldier is sent on a mission to track down a missing commander. But the deeper they go, the more they lose themselves. Dubai becomes a metaphorical jungle, an endless wasteland where morality erodes and the idea of heroism is shattered. Unlike most war games, this isn't a story about duty or victory. It's about guilt, about loss, about how war turns men into monsters. Military shooters have trained us to act without thinking. The mission is clear. The enemies are bad. The bullets solve everything. Spec Ops: The Line takes that conditioning and slowly turns it against the player. The enemies stop being faceless. The objectives stop making sense. And every time you pull the trigger, you start to wonder if you're doing the right thing. Until one moment changes everything. Over the next few episodes, we'll break down Spec Ops: The Line in detail, its story, its psychological impact, and how it forces players to confront the true horror of war. This is not a story about winning. It's a story about what happens when you refuse to stop fighting. Next time, we begin at the start. The first steps into the city, and the first steps into madness. If you're ready to follow this descent into darkness, subscribe and stay tuned.